I have to say, after many, many years of playing Barbara O'Reilly, trying to work out how the Irish jig turns into the Jewish wedding. But it does somewhere there. And you guys were great. You went really crazy. Like I used to do when I was young. You know, whatever Roger thinks that song is about, and obviously the guy that's doing the light show thinks it's about Elvis, because there's lots of pictures of Elvis in the back. You know, it is, as Roger said, it's about all of us. I write the same stuff today that I've written since I was about 18 or 19. And funnily enough, I don't write songs as much as perhaps people think I do about myself or what I'm going through. I think I write songs. I hope I write songs about you. And if I'm not writing about you, maybe I'm writing about your parents. No, I didn't mean to be funny. And because this thing we're about to play now, this is, I laughingly called it a mini opera. This was a suggestion that somebody made, and this came out in the UK as a thing called Wire and Glass. You can't hear it on a complete album until October the 30th when it's coming out in this country. We'll be home and then back around in November to come and see you guys again. But this is just a story of three kids in a neighborhood. You know, it's our neighborhood that we grew up in. Story about three people that could have been kids that Roger and I tried to bring up. And I think it means as much, I hope it will mean as much to you here in the USA as it would mean to us. It's called Wire and Glass. It's a series of 7 songs, all brand new. Put your teeth in. There are some surprises if you haven't heard this before. That's that. I don't know whether you gathered any of that. I won't do a 1973, 74 quadrophenia on you and try and talk you through it. You know, a few people have said that when we played at Philadelphia last night, which was the first show of this bit, we didn't play in a quadrophenia. We're still really struggling to work out what to play, how to play it, how much new stuff to play, how much old stuff to play, how long to play. You know, we don't want to bore you by being up here for 15 fucking hours. We don't want to get too old. We don't want to be too young. We don't want to pretend to be old. We don't want to pretend to be too young. You know, we don't want to pretend that we haven't got 400 songs that we could play, and we, etc. So we hope that what this tour is going to be for us is a bit of an exercise of changing things around and stuff. But with this band, Roger and I, we get in a groove and we tend to stay in it for a while, as some of you guys that follow us around will understand. Now that one was not about the Stockholm Syndrome. That one was about how cool it is when you switch on the TV and you're feeling a bit weird and you hear a really great, you think you're going to watch some shitty TV show, right? And you hear a great Who song. Ka-ching. Of course, it's not really about that at all. It's about, I used to really love TV themes, and I still do. And Mike Post is one of my great heroes. I love his writing, and I just wanted to write a song about how it felt to listen to his stuff. I hear he quite likes the song, so. On the pathway back to the stage here, there are white lines that we can follow. You know, the old people have to follow the white lines to the real meanings. And just in case, on the way to the stage, we forget who we are, between the white lines is written The Who.
Oh, yes, that's right, that's right. The Who, yes, I am. The Who. The Who. The fucking Who, yeah.
Wow! How incredible that you should all, after all these years, come and see us in such large numbers. Thank you so fucking much. Last two times we were here were 67 and I think 68. And both times in the Stampede. The first time the stage was built over all of the dung. Yeah, it was. So what's that smell? And but we had a great time both times, and I can remember good things about being in Calgary, but nothing about the shows. So it's really great to be back. That last song was a new song from the album that comes out on October the 30th. It's a new record. This is an old song. Both songs are about you guys, not about us guys. They're about you guys.
Windows looking back at me. You held a gun as children cried. You touched some wires and shattered me. That was a new song off an album we got coming out in October, and I won't try and explain it. It's a number called Black Widow's Eyes, and you hear it a few times and you'll be like me. Couldn't get it out of my brain the day I sang that. Yeah. And all those, can I just say something, Pete? All those people taking a sneaky puff of pot. I wish I could join you, but I have to tell you, I've now become allergic to it. So if you couldn't do it, because you might shorten the show, because if I get an attack, it fucks me. So, can you please go outside and get stoned and come back in?
It is pretty strong up here. As Ray Charles used to say,
Really appreciate
I
it.
smell your feet! That's what he used to say. I smell your feet! But of course he meant, give me some. This is the new mini opera. Drug free. Yes, I can tell that today the Hollywood Bowl is just full of people
who work in the fields. We dig for a living here. Nobody knows how filthy and dirty and mucky we get here in Los Angeles. I want to introduce this wonderful band that's with us. You guys probably all know each other intimately, and but if you don't, you can introduce yourselves. On bass here, we've got a guy that came to play with us first on this very stage. His first ever performance with The Who was on this stage in 2002. It was the first show that we did after we lost our bass player, John Entwistle, up in Nevada, the land of the dead. And he hovers with us on the other side of what we now call the Mirador. And The Who have lost two really wonderful people. And I know that Keith Moon's daughter is here today, and she recently lost her mother, Kim. So some of us, and she didn't die of old age or drugs or alcohol, she was hit by a fucking enormous truck. So, you know, it's not always rock and roll that does it, but Pino came and saved our bacon in 2002. Pino Palladino on bass. We'll dedicate this show to Mandy Moon, Keith Moon's daughter, who's with us today. She's a doll. I haven't seen her yet, but Mandy, say hello afterwards. On guitar and vocals here, my brother, my proper brother, my biological brother, Simon Townshend. And on drums, a very near relative, Zach Stuckey! And a real champion of this particular show is this gentleman here who normally stands in as normal keyboard player, Rabbit Bundrick's keyboard technician. Rabbit's with his wife at the moment who's very ill. And well, there's some tragedy going on at the moment, isn't there? She's going to be all right, we hope. This is the extraordinary Brian Kehoe. He's brave, he's kind, he's noble. I don't know how he does it. And we didn't rehearse with him or anything. He just walked in and took over. And actually, he's making a fucking mess of it, but you know, who cares? It's amazing. We will, of course, miss Rabbit because he's a genius, but Brian, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is a song about people who think they're smarter than they are. Guitar pick. Who wants a guitar pick? Exactly. You children are throwing guitar picks at the end of the show, yeah? Like crumbs to the savages. You know, sometimes in the middle of a show, people hold up things that they want you to autograph. We love it that you've got the front seats and we know you paid a lot of money. And we love it that you've come. And we love you. It's really great to be back in Florida. And yeah, you have to cheer yourself here, and you have to go, hooray! Florida, yeah! But for us it is really great because we get to spend a few days here, and it's just extraordinary to be out looking at the Atlantic Ocean and remembering what it is that makes this part of the world so special. The ocean on one side and the alligators on the other. I was telling somebody earlier on, I wrote the song Seeker, the second song that we wrote, right here in Fort Lauderdale. And it was then a friend of my father's had a house in the middle of a swamp, and I had no shirt on, and it was the middle of the night drinking whiskey or something, and came up with this song and went back eaten by mosquitoes. And as I turned round, there was a fucking alligator right there. So I was glad it was just the mosquitoes. We're very, very lucky. We're doing a long tour. It goes all the way through to Australia and Japan next October 2007. We hope we don't die before we get old or something. We're feeling good, don't worry. It's you we're worried about. Are you sure you can stand the pace? You see, we old guys, we just got used to it. We're kind of in the groove now. Just go on and on and on. This is not a heavy song, it's not a deep song, it's just a song about how music on the television seems not to get old. And I can remember when I first came to America back in 1967, I Love Lucy was on everywhere, on every channel. Da 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 da, that one. And then later it was Hill Street Blues. And I thought, you know, everybody on Hill Street Blues is the same age forever. But I get older and I get older and I get older. Even Lucille Ball is now younger than me. But only on the TV. And I wrote this song about how that can make you feel. It's a kind of good feeling, but it's also a strange feeling. This is dedicated to Mike Post, who wrote the theme for Hill Street Blues, and it's called Mike Post Theme. So, luckily there's a beautiful girl in front of me here, because most of you guys are just the usual ugly bunch of male fucks that follow the who around, getting older and older and older. But we're very grateful, as I said, that you've come out to see us. Sometimes I think Roger wants to be Elvis, I wouldn't mind being John Bon Jovi. I once went to one of his concerts and the front row was a bit like, you know, like some kind of female stripper chorus line. Anyway, we're lucky to have you people. And you're lucky to have us. This, you probably don't know how lucky. That song always goes down so well wherever we play in America that I just think you guys just must all be farmers. We shouldn't really take the words of the songs that we grew up with literally, I know that, because those fields are not meant to be literally fields. You know what we mean. You probably know what we mean better than we thought we knew what we mean. And it's amazing that song always seems to rally the audience in such an amazing way.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man. Well, you lot sounded great. Speak of water.
All this stuff I do on these guitars, all this kind of shit.
Such a beast.
It fucks them up. And we're about a week away from the last show on this, and I'm just sort of running out of instruments. This one also did a trip through the air the other day. Because I thought there was something wrong with it, and there wasn't, you know. And it feels pretty disgusting, actually. Anyway, when we started this tour in June, when my guitars were all fresh and new, and so you have fields here in Toronto as well. Everywhere we go, even in Japan, it's Barbara O'Reilly that seems to really connect with the audience. It's my kind of positive thinking. It's going to be terrible. You've got the old stuff playing the old stuff.
I ain't fucking old. You better.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. Been a long time, too long. And everything's changed, and from what I can see, everything's changed so much for the better. Not that there was anything wrong in the first place, but everything's getting so cool in Newcastle Gateshead. Great, great, great place. So glad to be here. Thanks for turning out in such large numbers. Thanks for being here. Thanks for going to the trouble to come and see us. We so appreciate it.
I liked it when it was dirty.
And last song was a song from our new album, Endless Wire. That song was called Fragments. It's all about how we're all pieces of something bigger. I suppose in the case of a rock concert, we're all pieces of a great big bit of rock, which makes you fragments of Newcastle and Gateshead rock. This next song is one in the same tradition, but from many years before. It's always making the songs about who you were, rather than, I hope, who we were. We still don't know who we are, but I think we've got some idea who you are. Anyway, hope this one works for you, Rog.
What?
I said I hope it works for you.
Maybe. Nummy's working tonight. My ears aren't, that's for sure.
Let's have the funny noises. We got a great band on the road with us, and not just musicians, but also really incredibly supportive friends. And each one of them has got a story to tell about how they came to us, and we've got a story to tell about how we could not have survived really without each one of them. And on bass here came in when John Entwistle died so tragically, so suddenly. The 7th Cavalry from Wales, Pino Palladino! Thank you. And a little while before John Entwistle died, so tragically, so suddenly, he'd want you to laugh, I promise. He'd want you to laugh. because it may have been suddenly, but I don't think it was tragically from what I read. Anyway, his voice went down a couple of octaves because he just... That was John Entwistle's language. So Simon came in when we did Quadrophenia on the road and started to sing, and then we found that we loved having him in the band. Great to have the extra guitar. This is my brother, Simon Townshend. This guy also joined us really mainly to play the Quadrophenia tour that we did in 1976, and been with us ever since. Fantastic player, wonderful guy. What's his name again? Zach Stuckey! And since 1976, I've been making music with this man up here who's a real great genius, in my opinion, but he's confined his genius to The Who for some peculiar reason. Before us, he was with Free for a little while, so his lineage is great. He's from Texas, a real music man, Hammond player, John Rabbit Bundrick! Thank you so much.